Every man wants to leave a lasting impression on a woman, but not all men understand what it takes to be truly unforgettable. Women don't just remember looks, money, or charm. They remember the men who make them feel seen, respected, and emotionally alive. There are specific actions and qualities that create a deep, lasting impact. When a man demonstrates these consistently, he becomes someone she can't easily forget, even years later. Modern dating is fast-paced, superficial, and full of distractions. Many men focus on impressing women with external factors, status, appearances, or short-term attention, but these rarely leave a permanent mark. What women remember is how a man made them feel in meaningful, emotional, or transformative ways. The psychology behind this is simple. Women are wired to hold on to emotional significance. A man who touches that part of her life becomes unforgettable because he engages both her mind and her heart. Being unforgettable isn't about grand gestures done once. It's about consistency, authenticity, and emotional intelligence. It's about creating experiences and memories that leave a lasting imprint. The man who listens when she talks, supports her when she struggles, challenges her growth, and makes her feel safe emotionally is the man who becomes unforgettable. These aren't fleeting actions. They're patterns of behavior that signal value, stability, and character. In this video, we're going to break down 5 things a man can do that women never forget. Each point will explore the psychology behind why these actions leave a lasting impression, how women perceive them, and why they create emotional resonance. From emotional support to challenging her in the right way, these behaviors form the foundation of unforgettable attraction. 1. He makes her feel truly seen. The first thing a man does that makes a woman never forget him is making her feel truly seen. This goes far beyond casual attention or surface-level compliments. Women remember the men who pay attention to the details that matter, how she thinks, how she feels, and who she really is beneath the surface. When you notice her emotions, remember her preferences, or acknowledge her struggles without judgment, you create a lasting impression that no fleeting charm or flashy gesture can match. Many men underestimate the power of genuine attention. In the modern dating world, so many interactions are transactional or superficial. A woman may meet dozens of men who compliment her appearance or try to impress her with material things, but few engage with her mind and emotions. When a man listens actively, asks thoughtful questions, and remembers what she shares, he signals that her world matters to him. That emotional validation becomes unforgettable because it's rare and deeply human. Behaviorally, making her feel seen is about consistency and depth. It's not just noticing small details once, it's remembering her favorite coffee order, recalling something she mentioned weeks ago, or acknowledging a personal challenge she faced. High-value men combine empathy with attention to detail. They notice patterns in her behavior and adapt their responses to her emotional state. Over time, these small actions accumulate, forming a strong emotional imprint in her mind. Psychologically, being seen satisfies a fundamental human need. Women, like all people, crave recognition and understanding. When a man authentically engages with her thoughts, emotions, and experiences, he triggers a sense of connection that is memorable. This is why women often talk about remembering how he made me feel rather than what he did. Emotional resonance sticks far longer than any material gesture or casual compliment. Another layer is trust. When a woman feels truly seen, she begins to trust you in ways she doesn't with others. She knows you're paying attention, valuing her perspective, and honoring her experiences. This trust is a cornerstone of attraction and unforgettable presence. High-value men understand that empathy, attention, and emotional intelligence are not weaknesses. They are powerful tools that create lasting connections. Here's how to act. First, listen actively without planning your response or interrupting. Focus on understanding, not fixing. Second, follow up on things she shares. Remember small details and reference them naturally in conversation. Third, validate her experiences without judgment or dismissiveness. This doesn't mean agreeing with everything. It means acknowledging her perspective and making her feel valued. In short, a man who makes a woman feel truly seen leaves a permanent mark on her mind and heart. High-value men understand that attention and empathy create deep emotional resonance that women never forget. By consistently engaging with her on a meaningful level, you become someone whose presence lingers long after interactions end. 2. He challenges her in the right way. The second thing a man does that makes a woman never forget him is challenging her in a way that promotes growth, excitement, and self-reflection. Women are naturally drawn to men who stimulate their mind and push them to become better versions of themselves, not through criticism, but through encouragement, curiosity, and subtle challenges. A man who challenges her demonstrates confidence, intelligence, and a high level of engagement, making him unforgettable because he's not just a passive presence, he shapes her experience of life. Many men misunderstand this concept, thinking that challenging a woman means arguing or being confrontational. That's not the case. The type of challenge that sticks is thoughtful and constructive. It can be as simple as playfully teasing her on her assumptions, pushing her to pursue goals she's been hesitant about, or encouraging her to step outside her comfort zone. These moments create emotional peaks, which the brain naturally remembers more vividly than routine, uneventful interactions. Behaviorally, challenging her can take many forms. It might be intellectual, debating ideas, encouraging her to consider new perspectives, or questioning assumptions in a respectful way. It might be personal, encouraging her to pursue her goals, try new experiences, or take risks she otherwise wouldn't. It can even be playful, gentle teasing or fun competition that creates a sense of excitement and engagement. High-value men know how to balance this challenge with respect and emotional intelligence, ensuring she feels inspired rather than attacked. Psychologically, challenges create memorable interactions because they break monotony and trigger emotional engagement. When a man pushes a woman to think, feel, or act differently, he activates novelty and growth, two elements that make experiences stick in memory. Women remember how he made them feel alive, motivated, or intellectually stimulated. Unlike superficial charm, this type of engagement resonates long after the moment passes. Another layer is respect. Women never forget men who challenge them without belittling them. There's a difference between someone who provokes growth and someone who asserts dominance through criticism. High-value men understand that the right kind of challenge shows strength, intelligence, and confidence without threatening her dignity. This combination creates attraction and emotional resonance that becomes unforgettable. Here's how to act. First, observe areas where she shows curiosity or hesitation, then offer subtle guidance or encouragement to expand her thinking. Second, use playful teasing or intellectual debate to create memorable interactions, but always remain respectful and supportive. Third, celebrate her wins and progress when she rises to the challenge, reinforcing positive emotions and the association with your presence. In short, a man who challenges a woman thoughtfully and respectfully leaves a lasting impression. High-value men understand that creating intellectual, emotional, and personal stimulation makes them unforgettable because they don't just participate in life with her, they enhance it. By pushing her in the right way, you become someone she remembers not just for who you are, but for the growth and excitement you inspired. 3, he supports her when she needs it most. The third thing a man does that makes a woman never forget him is showing unwavering support during critical moments. This isn't just about being physically present. It's about offering emotional stability, encouragement, and reliability when she's facing challenges, stress, or uncertainty. Women remember the men who stand by them without hesitation, especially when others may have faltered. This type of support creates a lasting emotional imprint because it demonstrates value, trustworthiness, and care in ways that superficial gestures cannot. Many men underestimate the power of consistent, thoughtful support. Modern dating often focuses on instant gratification, fun dates, flashy attention, or entertaining interactions. But women remember long-term emotional investments far more vividly. The man who is there when it matters most, who doesn't disappear during tough times, becomes unforgettable because he's associated with stability and reassurance, both of which are deeply valued traits. Behaviorally, supporting her can take many forms. It could be actively listening when she vents, helping her problem solve without taking over, or simply showing patience while she navigates difficult situations. It also means validating her feelings without judgment, offering encouragement when she doubts herself, and standing up for her when necessary. High-value men recognize that support is not about doing everything for her. It's about empowering her and demonstrating reliability. Psychologically, support creates strong emotional connections because it reduces uncertainty and stress. Humans are wired to remember sources of security and comfort, and women naturally associate men who provide these qualities with lasting value. When a man offers consistent support, he becomes linked to safety, trust, and emotional fulfillment. These are the elements that women unconsciously prioritize when recalling meaningful relationships, making him unforgettable. Another layer is consistency. One-time support is memorable, but ongoing reliability creates a lasting impression. Women remember the man who consistently shows up, even in small ways, because it demonstrates integrity and character. High-value men understand that actions speak louder than words. Reliable support signals value and builds deep emotional resonance that no charm or fleeting attention can replicate. Here's how to act. First, prioritize emotional presence over trying to fix everything. Listening and validating feelings is often more powerful than solving problems. Second, maintain your boundaries while supporting her. Don't overextend to the point of losing self-respect. Third, show consistency. Small, meaningful gestures over time create a lasting memory far stronger than grand but inconsistent acts. In short, a man who provides unwavering support during meaningful moments becomes unforgettable because women associate him with stability, trust, and emotional safety. High-value men understand that these qualities, consistently demonstrated, leave a deep impression. By showing up when it counts and maintaining integrity, you become someone she remembers long after the encounter, not just for who you are, but for the emotional security and care you provided. 4. He respects her boundaries and independence. The fourth thing a man does that makes a woman never forget him is respecting her boundaries and supporting her independence. Women are drawn to men who understand that attraction isn't about control. It's about mutual respect and recognition of individuality. A man who values her autonomy, encourages her personal growth, and never pressures her into compromising her principles becomes unforgettable because he demonstrates both confidence and integrity. Many men make the mistake of confusing control with attraction, trying to dominate decisions or create dependence. Women notice this immediately and often feel suffocated. In contrast, a high-value man respects her space, listens to her needs, and allows her to pursue her goals without resentment. This creates a unique emotional impression. She associates him with freedom, safety, and genuine care, which is rare in the modern dating world. Behaviorally, respecting boundaries shows in both small and significant ways. He doesn't pressure her into situations she's uncomfortable with, whether that's emotional vulnerability, social commitments, or physical intimacy. He supports her ambitions and interests, even when they don't involve him. He communicates clearly, honors agreements, and balances his own needs with hers without trying to dominate. These consistent behaviors demonstrate maturity and self-assurance, which women find unforgettable. Psychologically, women remember men who respect them because it signals emotional intelligence and long-term reliability. Humans are wired to value individuals who provide a safe environment to grow and express themselves authentically. A man who enforces boundaries while remaining present emotionally creates a balance that fosters trust, attraction, and admiration. This is not just about romantic appeal. It creates a lasting impression of character and integrity that lingers long after interactions. Another layer is the demonstration of confidence. A man who respects her independence shows that he does not fear losing her. He trusts in his value and knows that control is unnecessary. This type of confidence is magnetic. It signals that the relationship is a choice, not a possession, which makes him both memorable and desirable. High-value men understand that respecting boundaries reinforces both attraction and personal dignity, making their presence emotionally impactful and unforgettable. Here's how to act. First, actively listen to her needs and limits and honor them without complaint or pressure. Second, encourage her personal growth and celebrate her achievements independently of your relationship. Third, balance your own boundaries with hers. Don't compromise your standards, but also demonstrate flexibility and understanding. This creates a healthy dynamic that she associates with respect, trust, and emotional safety. In short, a man who respects her boundaries and independence leaves a lasting impression because he demonstrates confidence, integrity, and emotional intelligence. Women never forget the men who make them feel safe, valued, and free to grow while remaining deeply connected. By honoring her individuality, you create a relationship dynamic that resonates long-term, making your presence unforgettable in her mind and heart. 5. He leaves a lasting emotional impact. The fifth and final thing a man does that makes a woman never forget him is leaving a lasting emotional impact. This goes beyond being fun, supportive, or attentive. It's about creating moments, feelings, and experiences that resonate on a deep emotional level. Women remember men who make them feel alive, understood, and appreciated in ways that linger long after the interaction ends. Emotional impact is the glue that makes a man unforgettable. Many men focus too much on physical attraction or surface-level charm, believing that impressing a woman in the moment is enough. While those things might catch attention initially, they rarely leave a lasting mark. What women remember is the way a man made them feel, whether it was a sense of safety, excitement, inspiration, or emotional intimacy. When you create a strong emotional experience, you become part of her memory in a way that no fleeting attention can compete with. Behaviorally, leaving an emotional impact can take many forms. It can be through thoughtful gestures, meaningful conversations, or shared experiences that evoke joy, laughter, or comfort. It can be showing up consistently during pivotal moments, offering perspective when she's overwhelmed, or celebrating her successes in a way that makes her feel truly valued. The key is authenticity. Women can detect superficial efforts, but genuine care and engagement leave a permanent impression. Psychologically, humans are wired to remember emotional peaks, events or interactions that trigger strong feelings, whether excitement, love, appreciation, or even introspection, create lasting neural connections. A man who consistently triggers positive emotional responses becomes unforgettable because she associates him with meaningful feelings and experiences. This is why women often recall the way he made them feel, long before they remember specific words or actions. Another layer is emotional resonance over time. Women never forget men who make them feel understood, respected, and emotionally alive. It's not about constant attention or over-the-top gestures. It's about creating meaningful experiences that reinforce connection. High-value men understand that emotional impact is cumulative. Small, consistent moments of care, empathy, and engagement build a memory that sticks. Here's how to act. First, focus on creating genuine, memorable experiences, whether through meaningful conversations, shared adventures, or thoughtful gestures. Second, be emotionally present and attentive. Listen deeply, respond authentically, and validate her experiences. Third, combine consistency with novelty. While reliability builds trust, unique emotional moments create lasting impressions. This balance ensures she associates your presence with both safety and excitement. In short, a man who leaves a lasting emotional impact becomes unforgettable because he engages both her heart and mind. Women remember the way he made them feel, the moments he created, and the emotional resonance he left behind. High-value men understand that emotional depth, consistency, and authenticity are far more memorable than superficial charm or temporary attention. By focusing on meaningful interactions and genuine connection, you become a man she can never forget. 6. He makes her feel safe and secure emotionally. The sixth thing a man does that makes a woman never forget him is creating a sense of emotional safety and security. This isn't about controlling her or sheltering her from the world. It's about being a stable presence she can rely on, someone who listens, understands, and responds without judgment. Women remember the men who make them feel safe to be vulnerable, express themselves fully, and share their fears and dreams without fear of criticism. Emotional security creates trust, intimacy, and a lasting imprint in her mind. Many men underestimate how crucial emotional safety is. Modern dating often prioritizes excitement, physical attraction, or short-term validation, but these fleeting elements rarely form unforgettable bonds. Women, consciously or unconsciously, track how a man makes them feel emotionally. A man who provides consistency, understanding, and patience becomes unforgettable because she associates him with stability in a world that often feels chaotic or uncertain. Behaviorally, emotional safety shows through small but consistent actions. It's listening attentively without judgment when she shares concerns, responding with empathy rather than defensiveness, and maintaining composure during conflicts. It's also about reliability, keeping promises, showing up when needed, and following through on commitments. High-value men understand that emotional security isn't just a feeling. They actively reinforce it through consistent behavior that demonstrates care and trustworthiness. Psychologically, emotional security taps into deep human needs. Women are wired to value relationships where vulnerability is safe and where emotional needs are met reliably. When a man provides this consistently, she forms strong, lasting attachments. This is why women often remember the men who made them feel understood, supported, and safe over those who only offered temporary excitement or surface-level attention. Another layer is how emotional security builds long-term attraction. A woman who feels safe with a man is more likely to open up, trust him deeply, and integrate him into her life in meaningful ways. High-value men understand that emotional safety is a magnet. It strengthens bonds and ensures their presence leaves a lasting impression. She doesn't just remember what he did. She remembers how being with him felt. Here's how to act. First, prioritize listening and validating her feelings without rushing to fix or judge. Second, maintain consistency and reliability in your actions and words. Third, handle conflicts calmly and respectfully, demonstrating that she can trust you even in tension or disagreement. By doing this, you create an environment where vulnerability is safe and connection thrives. 7. He inspires her to be her best self. The seventh thing a man does that makes a woman never forget him is inspiring her to be her best self. This isn't about nagging or controlling. It's about motivating, challenging, and encouraging her growth in a way that feels natural and empowering. Women remember men who push them to reach their potential, support their ambitions, and celebrate progress along the way. This creates a deep emotional connection that lasts far beyond superficial attraction. Many men underestimate the power of inspiring a woman. In the modern dating world, attention often revolves around immediate gratification, compliments, dates, or fun moments. While these can be enjoyable, they rarely leave a lasting impression. A man who inspires growth, however, becomes a memorable force in her life because he is tied to transformation, progress, and emotional resonance. She associates him with ambition, encouragement, and the feeling of being capable of more. Behaviorally, inspiring her can take many forms. It could be offering encouragement when she doubts herself, pushing her to take risks in her career or personal life, or simply showing confidence in your own pursuits that motivates her by example. It's also about celebrating her successes authentically, reinforcing that her growth and achievements matter to you. High-value men understand that inspiration is subtle. It's about influence, not pressure. Psychologically, humans are drawn to individuals who help them grow. Women, like anyone else, remember those who help them unlock potential and who believe in them when they might doubt themselves. Inspiration creates lasting emotional impact because it ties the man's presence to positive change and personal development. She recalls him as someone who elevated her life, making him unforgettable. Another layer is consistency. One-off encouragement can be nice, but continuous inspiration through support, example, and subtle guidance creates a deep impression. She begins to associate her achievements, confidence, and growth with the influence of your presence. High-value men understand that creating long-term impact requires patience, authenticity, and self-respect. You don't need to force admiration. Your consistent actions and mindset naturally make her reflect on the difference you made. Here's how to act. First, lead by example. Pursue your own goals and passions passionately, showing her what's possible through dedication and ambition. Second, provide gentle encouragement and guidance when she faces challenges, helping her see opportunities for growth rather than limitations. Third, celebrate her achievements without envy or judgment, reinforcing the emotional connection between your support and her progress. In short, a man who inspires a woman to be her best self becomes unforgettable because he is tied to her growth, confidence, and personal development. High-value men understand that lasting attraction isn't about charm or temporary attention. It's about the emotional, intellectual, and personal impact they create. By inspiring her authentically and consistently, you leave a mark she carries with her, making you impossible to forget. Women never forget the men who make them feel truly seen. Challenge them in meaningful ways. Support them through life's ups and downs. Respect their independence, leave lasting emotional impact, and inspire them to grow. These actions create deep emotional resonance that goes far beyond superficial attraction. High-value men understand that consistency, authenticity, and emotional intelligence leave permanent impressions. By embodying these qualities, you don't just capture attention, you create connection, trust, and admiration that linger long after interactions end. Become the kind of man whose presence, actions, and influence are impossible to forget.